Today we will see an hierarchy and structure of courts in India. So as we all know that the ultimate court in India, that is Supreme Court, which is followed by the High Court, and again High Court is followed by the District and Subordinate Court. This District and Subordinate Court is divided into two parts. One is of civil side and other is of criminal side. In the civil side, only the matters which are related to marriage or property are entertained. But if we look at the criminal side, then the cases such as related to murder or crime are entertained. Apart from these judicial bodies, India also consists of some specialized tribunals for dispute resolutions such as Service Tax Consumer, Labor Tribunal, etc. If we look at the history of courts in India, then the Supreme Court came into existence on 28th of January 1950. It replaced the Federal Court and Privy Council. For the information, I tell you that the Federal Court is the Supreme Court of British India and the Privy Council is the highest appeal authority at the time of British rule. At the time of foundation, Supreme Court consists of Chief Justice and 7 judges. Parliament was given the power to increase the number of judges depending upon the judicial workload. If we look at the present time, then there are 34 judges including the Chief Justice. If we look at the High Courts of India, then India consists of 25 High Courts at state and union territory level. Each High Court has a jurisdiction over a state and union territory or group of states or union territory. Below the High Court, there exists a hierarchy of lower court which functions as civil as well as tribunals as well as criminals. If you look at the first High Courts in India, then the Madras High Court in Chennai, Bombay High Court in Mumbai, Calcutta High Court in Kolkata and Allahabad High Court in Allahabad, whose new name is Prayagraj, are the first 4 High Courts in India. If we look below the High Courts, then the courts function below the High Court are called lower court. For each state is divided into judicial districts, presides over by a district and session judge. Here the two terms district and session judge. If a judge is here the matter which are in civil nature, means it is related to such as property or marriage, then it is considered as district judge. And if the same judge hears the matter which are related to crime or murder, then they consider it as session judge, or even as in simple words say magistrate. Or the district judge is also a name, that is metropolitan session judge, when he or she is presiding over a district court in a city which is designated as a metropolitan area by the state government. Means if the district court's area is designated by metropolitan city, then its judge can be called as a metropolitan session judge. District judge may work with additional district judges depending upon the judicial workload. Means if the judicial workload of a district court is high, then they also appoint additional district judges for the fulfillment of work. Same as the Supreme Court hold appellate jurisdiction over all the subordinate court below it, in the same manner the district court also hold appellate jurisdiction over all the courts below it. If we look at below the district court, then there also exists a hierarchy of courts, also in civil side and in criminal side. So if we look at the civil side, then the senior civil judge court, again followed by principal junior civil judge court, again followed by junior civil judge court. These are on the civil side. And if we look at the criminal side, then chief judicial magistrate court followed by first class judicial magistrate court and again followed by second class judicial magistrate court. There also exists a munsif court in India that deals with small money, property or marriage related problems etc. Munsif court has a limit that is called as pecuniary limit, and its limit is set by the state government. Apart from these judicial bodies, India also consists of several tribunals that are involved in the dispute resolutions. These are not fully judicially bodies, means they are semi or quasi judicial body, because they may consist of administrative officers or some other judges or advocates that does not have a legal background. They also function in their judicial capacity and hear relevant legal matters and settle claims between the parties. If we look at some examples of tribunals are, one of it is Central Administrative Tribunal, that is CAT. It settles claims between the central government and central government's employees. And other is State Administrative Tribunal, SAT, that settle claims between the state government and its employees. One is telecom dispute settlement tribunals that settle claims between the telecom department and the government. This telecom dispute settlement tribunal is governed by the TRAI, which is a regulatory authority of telecom department in India, and again is National Green Tribunal. India is a common law jurisdiction. By the term common law jurisdiction, here in the case of common law jurisdiction, judge can make law from their decision of case. Here the role of judge or the role of court is very strong under the common law jurisdiction. The same is seen in the case of the England. So India takes its presidency from England, so that's the same. Common law jurisdiction is also seen in India. If we look opposite to the common law jurisdiction, then there exists a civil law in which only legislature or executive make laws. This can be seen in the case of continental Europe, Germany and Russia. In this type of law jurisdiction, means in this type of civil law, only legislature makes law, so the courts and the role of courts become quite low in this type of system. India also consists of an adversarial model of dispute resolutions, means that the judges that hear the matters, they are neutral judge and they can't inquire something. The work of inquiry is related to the police or the other legal officers or advocates. Opposite to it, there exists an inquisitorial model which followed by several civil law countries such as continental Europe, Germany or Russia. In this type of law system, judges are proactive in inquire and judges can provoke the matter much like a police. If we look at some legal officers in India, then the first is Attorney General, which you may call as the advocate of the government, advocate of Indian government. And in the Constitution, Article 76 has provided for the office of Attorney General in India. He is the highest law officer of India. Attorney General can be appointed by the President on the recommendation of Parliament. And if we look at his qualification, then he must be a person who be qualified or to be appointed as a judge of Supreme Court. Or in other words, he must be a citizen of India, he must be a judge of some high court for 5 years or an advocate for some high court for 10 years or an eminent jurist in the opinion of President. The term of office of Attorney General is not fixed in the Constitution. They may be removed by the President at any time, or he may also quit his office by submitting his resignation to the President. Means he holds his office on the pleasure of the President, and the salary or allowances, these are also not fixed in the Constitution and they depend upon President, and mainly it may be equal to the judge of a Supreme Court. If we look at some duties that are provided by the Constitution to the attorney, then they may give advice to the government of India upon some legal matters which are referred by him by the President on the advice of Prime Minister. He can also appeal or appear in behalf of Government of India in all High and Supreme Court where government is concerned, to represent the government in any reference made by President to the Supreme Court under Article 143 of the Constitution, that is the right of audience. So the Attorney General is given the right of audience in all courts of India. He can sit on both houses of the Parliament, also in upper house and in lower house, but didn't have right to vote. One more legal officer of India, that is Solicitor General. In Constitution, the post of Solicitor General is not defined. It is made from the laws of Parliament. In addition to the Attorney General, there are other law officers of the Government of India, so that Indian government is very vast. So a single person, that is Attorney General, is not able to defend many cases in different courts of India. So there exist one Solicitor General and 4 additional Solicitor General to assist the Attorney General in the fulfillment of responsibilities. Again, if we look at the side of state, then Article 165 of the Constitution provide Advocate General of State, and its qualification is same as the Judge of High Court, or in other words we can say that he should hold an judicial office for 10 years or an advocate of High Court for 10 years. Then in this way we completed our first chapter, that is structure and hierarchy of courts in India.